Okay, hi, welcome back. Attorney Steve Vondra, and happy Monday. Hope you guys are all having a great day and going to have a great week. Why don't you make Monday the best day of this week? We got Turkey Day coming up. I think this is the day to make it happen, okay? So we are starting out on our end by telling you about breaking legal news with Google and YouTube will pay a record $170 million for alleged violations of the Children's Privacy Law, what we call COPPA. Do you see it right here? Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, COPPA. Some people call it Copacabana. Okay, but that's besides the point, my singing career. So look what happened here. Okay, so I'll tell you briefly. COPPA is if you have a website that is geared towards kids under 13, what they define as kids, quote unquote kids under 13, then, and if you're collecting personal information, you have to give them a special notice, and you can't collect their information without parental consent. That's the basics of the act. They don't want you getting all these kids' information, and then they get all these marketing materials in the mail, and nobody knows what's going on. The parents didn't consent. But here's what happened, and this is what's going to trigger some new requirements for you YouTube creators like myself, and I'm going to show you that in a second. So here it is. Google LLC and its subsidiary YouTube will pay a record $170 million to settle allegations by the Federal Trade Commission, that's the FTC, and the New York Attorney General. So there was an action brought against Google and its subsidiary YouTube for violation of the COPPA, and this is the settlement. Okay, that's a lot of money, probably not much for them. It's probably a $20 bill to them, but that's fine. But it's a big settlement for the rest of the world here, and it shows you what could happen to your company if you get ensnared in something with a state attorney general. California attorney general could get involved. FTC, Federal Trade Commission in Washington D.C. The settlement requires Google and YouTube to pay $136 million to the FTC and $34 million to the New York, that would be the Attorney General, for allegedly violating the COPPA Act. The $136 million penalty is by far the largest amount the FT has ever obtained in a COPPA, a case since Congress enacted the law in 1998. In a complaint filed against the companies, the New York and FTC, the FTC and New York Attorney General allege that YouTube violated COPPA by collecting personal information in the form of persistent identifiers that are used to track users across the internet, from viewers of child-directed channels, without first notifying parents and getting their consent. That's what we just talked about. YouTube earned millions of dollars by using the identifiers, commonly known as cookies. We love that word in the tech industry here. Cookies. It makes us all hungry. To deliver targeted ads to viewers of these channels, according to the complaint. Here's the rule. The COPPA rule requires that child-directed websites and online services provide notice of their information practices and obtain parental consent prior to collecting personal information from children under 13, including the use of persistent identifiers to track a user's internet browsing habits to target advertising. So they're using cookies, they find out where you're going, what your likes, interests are. Now they're targeting it with ads or video ads in the case of YouTube, things like that. In addition, third parties such as advertising networks are also subject to COPPA, where they have actual knowledge. They're collecting personal information directly from users of child-directed websites and online services. YouTube touted its popularity with children to prospective corporate clients, says FTC Chairman Joe Simmons. Yet when it came to complying with COPPA, the company refused to acknowledge that portions of its platforms were clearly directed towards kids. There is no excuse for YouTube's violation of the law. The YouTube platform allows Google account holders, including large commercial entities, to create channels to display their content, according to the plaint. Now, I'm going to let you read the rest of this if you want to read it, okay? But instead, I'm going to show you. You can just pause that and read it if you want, okay? There's a lot of stuff in there. Basically, they told Mattel, maker of Barbie and Monster High toys, YouTube is today's leader in reaching kids. Children aged 6 to 11, so they're promoting YouTube is the number one website regularly visited by kids. So they knew that their channels were targeting kids, and that was really what this was all about. So now Let's talk in practical matters. What's that mean now? So now when you have your YouTube channel, if I can get it in here, let me see here. Hang on a second here. Hang on one second there. All right, what's your problem now? What's your problem here? I just had it up here. Wait, let's go over here. All right, so don't ask me what's going on there. So at any rate, so here we have it. Here's my YouTube channel. So you go into your videos, okay? Like here's some of my videos. You can see where I'm at here. But what you do now is you go through your list and you say, is this one directed toward kids? If so, I need to age restrict it. Is this one? And I say, well, no, mine really aren't. Mine are law videos are gauged towards adults and people over 18 that are facing going into court. So let's go in here. If this was, for example, made for kids, all you do is you come down here. Now, listen, you have to comply with COPPA as well. So you can't say, well, it's YouTube's fault. I'm on their channel. No, what the law is requiring is that you, as a video creator, must comply, or you could face fines and penalties with a FTC or a state attorney general. So be careful about this. If it's made for kids, all you do is click the button, and it says here, features like personal ads and notifications won't be available on videos made for kids. Video that are set as made for kids are more likely to be recommended alongside other kids' videos. Or you say, no, it's not made for kids. So now I'm going to have to go in and say, no, it's not made for kids. I'm going to have to go in and do this on something like 500-600 videos that I have. Okay, and then you're going to need to save that. So this is what the new law is requiring now. So go in there and do that to all your videos, think it through. Now you may say, well, what content's made for kids? And they have a little handy section here for you. Okay, well, what's this? Now the FTC has a very nice question and answer document, but this is a shorter, quicker. Here, you can learn more here, but this is shorter and quicker. But you may want to read both if you're not sure, okay? But let's just say, according to the FTC guidance on COPPA, a video is child-directed, which we called made for kids, if children are the primary audience based on the factors described below. Children are not the primary audience, but the video is still directed to children based on the factors below, okay? So the primary audience, or you look at these factors, okay? And here it is. You can pause the video, take a look, print it out, whatever you need to do, okay? But let's take a look at it. Subject matter of the video, educational content for preschoolers. You guys know if you're making educational content for preschoolers, okay? You know what that is. Whether children are your intended or actual audience for the video. Now you know that. You know if you're trying to get kids to watch the video or who your target is. You can make that assessment. Does your video include child actors or models? Why? Kid actors are appealing to kids, okay? So pretty straightforward stuff here. Whether the video includes characters, celebrities, or toys or games, things like that appeal to children, including animated characters or cartoon figures. Next, whether the language of the video is intended for children to understand. So sort of the nature. Is it really broken down into very basic words? Are you using big, giant vocabulary words? Whether the video includes activities that appeal to children, such as play acting, simple songs or games, or early education. Videos that include songs, stories, poems for children. And any other information you may have to help determine your video's audience, like any empirical evidence that you have of the video's audience. So if you're using analytics, some kind of tool that's telling you who your audience is, where they're coming from, what their likely age is, things like that, those things can depend. Now, two final notes here. YouTube Analytics is not designed to help you determine if your content is child-directed. You should use the factors outlined by the FTC above to set your audience. Finally, how old is a kid? Well, the age under 13, that's in the United States. However, other countries may have different ages. So I know you got to comply with the global compliance these days. And some places may set it lower, some places may set it higher. We're just one country with our set of rules, okay? So again, if you want more information, there's a great blog here. It's longer, it's about 35 pages. You can pause some of this and read it if you want, but it's a lot of the same stuff, maybe a little bit more. Here's Here's those factors again that FTC is pointing out there. So at any rate, if you need help complying with COPPA, or you have YouTube issues, copyright issues, trademark issues, intellectual property, internet issues, where are you going to go? AttorneySteve.com to help you get all this figured out. And that is our show on COPPA. This is general legal information only and not legal advice. Don't forget to get in here and get your video set because you are going to need to comply with that. If you don't, YouTube has stated that you could have your own compliance issues with your channel, including the death knell, deplatform. Okay, so you don't want that to happen. So follow those factors, see what's going on, get your videos set. And don't remember, YouTube can override your choices, by the way, if they think you're wrong. So they can always override. Anyway, that's a brief primer on COPPA law. So I hope that's been helpful. A law I bet you never even knew anything about. But there it is, folks. Attorney Steve out. You gotta run. Have a great day. We're gonna have a big day today, big day tomorrow. A lot of things going on here. So have fun. Knock out your work so you can enjoy that turkey. Gobble gobble. We'll talk to you later. AttorneySteve.com.